Evening, folks. It's Sunday night. We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's another episode of Audio Who. And this evening, me and these fine bunch of robust ruffians have sort of gathered, semi-soberish and wide awake and alert, to tackle a little Patrick Troughton lost story from season 4 of the Big Finish Lost Stories range, entitled Lords of the Red Planet. This story was ultimately shelved in favour of the Seeds of Doom, and as a consequence result takes place in between that said story, the Seeds of Doom, and the War Games. How did we find this one? Well, you're about to find out, but before we get to that, let's get to your panel for this evening. Joining us, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just after 6 a.m, it's the Thunder from Down Under. It's AJ. How we doing, AJ?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good to have you, mate. Thanks for tagging along early doors on a Monday with us. All the way from Corpus Christi. He has a beard that must be fired and he's rocking the white. It's Texas Town, well. How we doing, Tim?
How you doing?
Good to have you, man. And NYC's own Mr. Will Medina. How we doing, boss?
Hey now, how you doing, everybody?
Good to have you, man. And of course we have the scourge of Tottenham in the guise of Mr. Philip Archer. Phil, how goes it this Sunday evening?
Good evening. Sunday's doing fine for me.
Good man. So yeah, Lord of the Red Planet. We have Mars, way back in the past. And we have essentially the Ice Warriors before they were dubbed the Ice Warriors. We have the city of Gandoran. We have Quandro. We have his genetically modified daughters. And a whole bunch of hell about to ensue when the Dr. Zoe and Jamie stumble upon the scene. So where do we begin with this? Opening thoughts, folks. AJ, can I get your opening thoughts, please, mate, on Lords of the Red Planet, Fraser Hines and the rest of the gang?
Cool. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen this being made into an episode on TV. It would have been awesome to see how they would have visualized the Ice Warriors without their armor, the previous version. I thought it was awesome having Michael Troughton in there. It's just a shame he didn't play the second Doctor. That would have been pretty cool, I thought. Yeah,
well, he done a good job as Quindro, so you know.
He sounded a bit too human for my liking, though. He didn't have that hissing going on. So the story was awesome, long, but it was worth it. Had a good payoff at the end.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Phil? You've posted all week. You absolutely love this, so keep it brief.
This is one of my favourite lost stories ever, out of all lost stories. It's the only one that I enjoy listening to. For me, right, in a nutshell, it's kind of dark, really, when you think about it. For a Patrick Troughton story, it's kind of dark. You've got a lot of death going on. You've got a very mean-spirited female. Ice Warrior woman or Martian woman. She's the best thing about this whole box set. The way she's
Zaadur. Yeah.
Zaadur. That's played by Abigail Ford. She's the best thing about the whole box set. I love her to bits. I could listen to her all day. And also Nick Briggs. I give him props for playing Ryazor. The kind of like he comes across like the Igor of the Frankenstein story.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very much like that. And his love for the other, the sister of Zaadur, Deltrina, his love for her was such heartbreaking when obviously the girl got done over. And but the best bit for me would be the whole destruction of that city. The way that was harsh. But yeah, it's a good box set, and I recommend it to everyone around, basically. Okay,
yeah, as Philip mentioned, shout out to Nick Briggs, who basically played triple duty in this story between Razor, Aslar, and obviously the Ice Warriors themselves. Tim, how was this one for you, mate? Opening thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that was Nick Briggs doing those voices because it didn't sound anything like him. That's hilarious. But I'm with Phil on this one. It's if I was the kind of person who made top 10 lists, this would actually be on it because it is very good. It's a flawless story. I mean, technically it's a misleading calling it a lost story because it's actually a combination. According to the extras, John Doherty created this out of 2 storylines left over when the series went with the Seeds of Death. these were two other submitted storylines by the same writer, Malcolm Hulk, and he managed to create a really interesting, a really believable society on Mars way back in the day, like you said. And it's the idea that it's a origin story for the Ice Wars, that's just incidental. I mean, this is a very good story, and it's executed very well, acted very well. I can't find any fault with it.
Okay, mate. Well, what say you, mate?
Oh, I agree. This is one of the best second Doctor story I have ever heard. And like Tim said, I don't consider this like say the origin of the Ice War. The only thing in origin is really the naming of it, because it was the Doctor and Jamie that kept calling them the Ice Warriors. So Zaadur decided to change it to Ice Warriors. It was not their creation because they've already been, and we heard earlier in the story, there are Ice Warriors there working, like bodyguards.
They were created from the Saurus, what they call them, those little tiny things, the sauropods or whatever they call them. That's where they were created from. They were all
it was already a done deal because they had a bunch of them around. Yeah, but the only thing new about that is that when the Doctor and Jamie said Ice Warriors, they were called Ice Warriors from there on.
Yeah,
I would have loved that scene. I would have loved that scene on television because it would have been a great, flawless story.
Agreed.
I mean, like Tim said, it was two stories combined. I wish I remember the original name. There would have been. It would have been also good if those two original stories would have been either a missing adventure or past Doctor in the novels. That would have been interesting to read about that, how that would have been. I was shocked. I was shocked that I checked out that Michael Troughton did the audio as Quindrell.
Yeah.
It was a great to have him there. And that chick was really Zaadur. Oh, she's the character, even though she only appeared in this audio. She's the character I wish she would have came back a bunch of times. She would have been a great recurring villain for the Doctor. That would have been something.
So spot on with that evilness. The way she carried it, spoke, and her words she used, she was just taking notes. She took no nonsense from no one.
Yeah, you could tell she has no morals whatsoever. As long as she gets what she wants, she will put everybody and everything under her foot. Guess what she wants. That's why I would love to see her. I would love to see that character come back. I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that because of the way the story ended. But that would have been real cool. We get more when we nitpick the other stuff that's in the story.
Yeah, okay, mate, thanks. Well, for me, it's the villainous of the piece in this for me that really, makes the thing stand out. Zaadur, obviously, like the guys have said, or like Will said, very, very control-centric, and basically she's a byproduct of the genetic process that she went under to basically, because she was the second creation of Quindrell, and he was trying to perfect any flaws in terms of the intelligence that wasn't in. What was the princess's name again? Help me out. Trina, yeah. Because he was trying to perfect any flaws in terms of the brain patterns that wasn't in her. He was successful, but in doing that, you got one heartless, cold, calculating.
She was amoral.
Yeah, an amoral bitch, basically. And aside from the fact that she, hasn't any scruples or morals, she was like an Ice Warrior version of the Rani for me. The only difference being the Rani does have morals in the sense that she just wants to be left alone to get on with her own devices and her own experiments. This bitch, she wants to, basically commit genocide just because she woke up on the wrong side of bed.
To be fair, they do make you feel just a little bit for her because she was tortured, put through a process, let's put it that way. Her father never intended to torture her, but it was a different process than what Trina went through. Yeah. And it made her a hardened bitch, like you said. So, I mean, you don't really feel sorry for her for long. You just
no. But as I say,
that's what I said in my notes. That I said that although she's evil, you a part of you just want to cheer for her and go, yeah, you go,
But as I say, the rest of them, you know, you've got Fraser Hines pulling double duty here as obviously Jamie and Patrick Stoughton. Stoughton? Who the hell's Stoughton? What the hell? Patrick Stoughton's Stead, and you know that he's given plenty to do with the two parts. Zoe had, you know, she had her thing with the mistress of Aslo, and you know, for some reason the Ice Warrior took a fancy to her. Go figure. There you go. Because she helped and got him at the machine while he was being experimented on. So all in all, all the characters had something to do here. Even the younger sister or the older sister rather, who ended up sipping from the fountain of youth and basically growing old and aging to death. Yeah, excellent. Nice way to go. So yeah, good story for me, guys. I really enjoyed this. It's been a few years since I've heard this, and it was good to get back and revisit it. Right, guys, any events, characters, or instances within the story that stood out for you? Well, go for it.
Aslo, because we see him in the beginning that he's taking the punishment for mind development, and of course Zoe didn't like that, so she unplugged it. So out of that, he showed kindness to her and respect, and like he see her like a queen like that to take, you know, to give orders to him, and then of course when he got caught and his mind was able to think more, you saw him being able to outmaneuver and outfight the other Ice Warriors that was attacking him at that. Yeah. So that he really stood out. And of course, him sacrificing himself to save the Doctor and Zoe and Jamie from the other Ice Warrior that stayed on the planet when the rest was on the rocket. I mean, he really. I actually thought he was gonna stay and live to the end and become a leader like that. But hopefully, maybe somebody will, you know, remember that he was a warrior and do a memorial for him, like the way these Ice Warriors always do to each other. Okay, mate. Tim, what about you, mate?
Everybody. This is a very well designed drama by John Dorney, who we just had that double master thingy with last month, which was brilliant. I mean, this guy knows how to plot a story, and it's all character driven. All these characters have something to do. I mean, if somebody says, listen to this audio, it's only 3 hours long, you'd be like, 3 hours. But at the end of the day, there's not a bit of fat on it. There's no padding. It's just all go. And yeah, you wouldn't want to listen to it all at once. You want to take your time with it and enjoy it because it's in 6 parts. But I mean, wow, this is a great story that's very tightly plotted. And there's something for somebody to do all the time. As far as Troughton being in it, he's brilliant as Quindrel because David Troughton has that kind of voice that he's always on the verge of being hysterical. You know what I'm saying? He did the same thing when he played Man Love Stokes. That's
it's Michael Troughton in this audio.
Michael Troughton. Yeah. I always do that, but yeah. He's perfect for this part because he's got that just on the verge of being hysterical in his voice all the time, like he's just about to lose it, you know. Yeah, very good at this kind of part, and you really feel for him because he was just doing the best he could to advance his race, which was doomed to die at some point when they ran out of this life liquid, whatever, and he had to experiment on his own daughters. I mean, and of course, one of them came out great, but with a few weaknesses. The other one came out a vengeful bitch. But this story has everything too. I mean, the two Ice Warriors that are in it, I mean, that are part of the ongoing plot, Aslor and Rysor. I mean, they both have something to do, and they both end up kind of saving the day, you know, for everybody with their own sacrifices. I mean. Especially, it's good that it ends up being revenge at the end for him because he destroys the queen. I mean, he ruins her plan entirely. So I mean, this is very good stuff, man.
Okay, man. Very character driven.
You know what? I also gotta recommend that not one character had like the character was cheap like that. You didn't hear Zoe screaming or nothing like that, or always needing help like that. She had everybody face. Well, any difficulty that came in, their faces say they faced it. And of course, Zoe was saved by the Ice Warriors, but she thought she was going to hit the floor. So it was pretty good.
Even then, too, there's a little bit of humor at the end too, because when the three get back together and the doctor says, "I'm going to do this and fix it," and she's like, "Oh, of course you're going to need my help." You know, they're back into that routine.
And then he tells Jamie, just look pretty and look around.
Yeah.
Doctor reference.
All right. We've watched Philip. I don't know where he's went. AJ, how about you?
For me, I saw a lot of elements from this story with other stories from Doctor Who in other places. I saw bits of Frankenstein. I saw bits of the brain of Morbius in there, and so on and so forth. Even the princess, she reminded me of the Queen from Blackadder. You know how she's a bit fickle.
Oh, but a bit ditzy.
Yeah. Just even the voice, it was brilliant. It was spot on. I thought it was awesome. But the story with the Ice Warriors, it was a good origin story for the Ice Warriors. It's incidental, but it does sort of show that the team could have actually played this out on TV and worked it out. It would have been a good story in black and white.
All right, mate. And in Philip's absence, I guess I'll go next. I don't know where the hell he's went. But, yeah. Like AJ, I also saw the similarities, between, Frankenstein and various other well-known horror, especially when it came to Razor. Just the whole, he just screamed Igor, or even Renfield. To Dracula, it was just the mannerisms and the vocal tone that Nick Browse decided to use for that character. So yeah, I'll give Razor a good shout out here. Jamie and Zoe, as I say, the main crux of this story is everybody had something to do, and in 3 hours that's not always necessarily, shall we say, plotted out well. But in this story, it's bang on, and nobody feels like a third wheel. So that's my take on it. And now that I've said my piece, I'll hand you over to a black man from Tottenham. Phil, how about you?
My apologies. Yes, like everybody else has said so far, everybody has a piece of the pie in this story. And like I said, my standout person has to be Zaadur, and also Razor. And they were treated to the same level. And yet again, we have a mother and daughter in the same story, in the same box set again. You've got Charlie Hayes, whose mother is Winnie Padbury. So yet again,
there you go.
They share an audio again. I just love this story. I mean, the devastation of the population by Zaadur, that really got to me, because you can just feel the earthquakes and everything, and everybody dying and everything. But at the end of the day, you know what? I would like them to come back to that period in time before that destruction and see more of Zaadur and her ruling of the populace. I want to see more of that.
Okay, now that's something that I forgot to touch on when I was going on about that.
It's a little bit. You can't do that because if you go back there before the destruction and Zaadur was there, then she's gonna be suspicious because she would have noticed that somebody else has returned now in this story. So it makes no sense. The only thing that should happen is we should go like a couple of maybe a century or two after this story to see how the city has done.
Yes. Yeah.
We know that. Yeah, we all know, and the doctor knows that eventually they're gonna be gone, and only the Ice Warriors will remain. But we like to see what happened to the rest of the population. Did they die naturally, or was it?
Wasn't that touched on in the what do you call it? The Key to Time Peter Davison story with one of those girls that are sort of like tracers. They touched on the destruction of Mars then, didn't they?
If they did, it was probably a throwaway line. I try and forget that trilogy.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, if they leave you wanting more, they've done a great job, and they don't need to go back and return to it because the story's over for everybody involved.
Exactly.
I don't mean to go back to like that. So I would like to see like a lot of years later if anything else happened to that Mars during that time. Like maybe what they invaded like that, or maybe something happened.
I can just imagine that in the writer's room. Right, several years later, Mars during that time come up with a story. What the fuck? Yeah.
the whole thing had a kind of Beauty and the Beast aspect to it, because that's how it paralleled the whole way through.
Hang on. I never heard no singing Candle. What are you talking?
Now, I don't think Aslo looked at Zoe like that. He just had a lot of respect for her.
I mean, it was, way back in the past, Phil, but let's be clear, it was no tailors all this time. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, we would have seen Robert Carlyle show though.
No.
I think it has the benefit of being written in this decade, with the benefit of hindsight of 50 years of Doctor Who before it. In other words, Zoe gets the kind of thing that they used to do with Sarah Jane a lot. That the big dumb guy would like her, like girl creepy, that kind of thing. And so that's the kind of situation they're setting up.
Yeah. Okay, and as I was just about to touch upon before Will went into the spiel there about maybe getting back and seeing how things panned out, the whole subplot with the explosions underneath the mines and which ended up, destroying the city, huge prop to the sound design on that score, because as Phil alluded to, you could actually feel and see in your mind's eye that city crumbling to the ground faster than Krypton. So there you go.
Well, we'd like to see it. I would like to see it come back, but I would like to know what happened to the remaining eggs that was put away.
All right, guys.
That's the only thing, because we don't know if all of them was destroyed, some of them, or just a little bit, like that. Just those eggs.
I think you mentioned that there was only one batch left. Would they know?
No, there was one batch in the rocket that blew up, but Aslo hit the rest somewhere in the cave. We don't know what happened with those eggs.
Yeah.
Well, they would have been nurtured and brought up as.
Yeah, remember this is a cave-in occurred in the mine.
As they leave, they know that the future of the Ice Warrior starts here, and so they haven't really stopped it from happening or anything. I mean, that's not what they intended to do. They just got caught up in the plot. But I mean, as they leave, they even said, "We haven't changed anything. This is the Ice Warriors will still evolve."
Okay. Now that we've tied that up in a big ball of wool and one jumbled mess, and we've established that the Ice Warriors still show up, open mic portion of the podcast, guys. Anything else you want to bring up regarding this tale?
I was shocked, even though it's a 3-hour story, it flowed real good. I mean, besides because it was 6 parts, it went pretty good. I was like, that's pretty nice. That's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, for me with Zoe meeting Aslo, it felt like the carcass in the Mind Robber.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought when I heard that, because she had the big, strong, dumb guy on her side, sort of thing. Sort of do what I want.
All right.
I did like the war of words between the Doctor and Zaadur when she's trying to get him to tell her about her, and she's using all her while her ways of trying to get him to do it, like manipulating and blackmailing him.
Oh yeah, you're avoiding the word arrogant. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was played out well.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, like you mentioned, the production and the music and everything, as usual, is top notch in this, and the cast is amazing in it as well. You have Hines doing double duty as usual, very good. Pat Berry doing her best, and then like you said, you got Michael Troughton, and you've got Charlie Hayes, and they all do a great job in this.
Excellent. All right, guys. Anything else? No?
We want more.
We want more. Well,
unfortunately, I would like more. It's funny though, because you got that one, Lords of the Red Planet, and the subsequent ones that follow those, that Lost Story, don't really match up to this one at all. So,
the next one was the final one, was for the Mega, I think the name of it was.
Yeah. No, in the Patrick Troughton range, you got the Rose Mariners, and then you got the other one. What's the other one?
Well, this one came out last, I think, but I would say I like the format. I like what they did here. This is what pretty much set up the early adventures range. Once they ran out of lost stories to tell, that's why they're doing that now with the first and second Doctor, and it works very well. If you have 2 narrators bouncing off of each other and telling the story along with the action scenes in between, it can be very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If we're done on the open mic portion and there's nothing else to bring up, it's that time again.
Could be a one-way love and a two-way street.
I've done that many a drunken night, but that's neither here nor there. The Lost Stories, Adventures, Season 4, Story number 3, Lords of the Red Planet. Fraser Hines, Wendy Padbury, and of course guest starring Michael Troughton. AJ, what do you give us 1 out of 10, mate?
Or 10. That's as high as you can go, is 10 out of 10.
High praise, down under, 10. Philip, what's the view from London?
If I can go beyond 10, I would. And it's also a 10 for me, always.
Always.
You reached 10 before, man, you know.
All right, well, how about you?
I'll give it a 10. It's one of the best stories I heard in a long time. It's perfect. It's a 10 for me.
And down Techie way, Tim.
You don't have to ask.
Okay, that's another 10 from Texas. And I will... Did I complete the set? What the hell? I'll not be the arsehole and the complete bastard this week. I'll complete the set. It's 10 out of 10. And you must seek this story out, purchase, swindle, watch it fall off the back of a truck. Obtain it any way you can, listen to it, and you'll see what a really good writer John Donnelly is. It's absolutely,
Absolutely.
and you know, it's just epic stuff. There's a bit of narration in there for you folks not familiar with the range, but that's just necessary because, well, Troughton's no longer with us for one, so you know. Excellent stuff. Lords of the Red Planet, thumbs up all round tonight on Audio Who. Well, we have another in the can, dearies, and it just leaves for us to enlighten you in what we are doing next week. Philip, would you kindly tell the viewers what we're doing next week?
I totally forgot.
Oh, God.
Your brain fart.
Okay.
Forgot.
From one idiot in Tottenham to someone with a bit more brain cells over in Brooklyn. Well, will you kindly tell the viewers what we're doing next week?
First of all, I'm not going to answer that, but you say I'm from Brooklyn, so...
Oh, sorry, the Bronx. I apologize, yeah.
Move it along then. Next person.
Does anybody remember?
Yeah, ready.
All right, AJ, the Thunder from Down Under will now regale you with the title. AJ, drum roll, please.
The Trouble with Strax.
There you go. The Trouble.
The Trouble with Drax. Get it
Oh,
right.
Drax.
Drax is Drax.
Just kill me.
I dare say there's many a person online who would sit and write chapter and verse on that thesis, The Trouble with Strax. But unfortunately, no, we're not doing that. Yes,
No,
thank you.
Drax, sorry.
It is The Trouble with Drax, yes. That lovable rogue from the Key to Time season at the tail end is back. And let's just say Lala Ward might be somewhat pissed when he calls her a certain name. But we'll get into that next week. We will be tackling The Trouble with Drax, so we look forward to sitting down and tackling that with you folks. As always, guys, check out everybody else who we check out on YouTube. We have our buddy Dr. Freedom, his daily news broadcasts and his Omega Files. We have the folks over at Geeks Assembled and their relevant videos where they tackle TV shows, movies, or any general everyday musings that come into their head each and every week. And of course for our previous episodes, please check those out on the Whovian channel. Toddle on over and give them a look. Give them a like, a share, a subscribe, and all that other good stuff that happens within the YouTube community. Also our buddy Sammy Carter, Johnny Blues, we've got Susie, Retardless Blues Radios, and many, many others. We are just one big bunch of insane, psychotic, hooligan-esque people. So, yeah, come one, come all.
You forgot to mention our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. What is our sponsor this week? Have we got a sponsor?
Iron Brew.
Oh, yes. This week's episode of Audio Who is sponsored by Iron Brew. Not exactly sure why. I'm assuming it's the first thing that came to these guys' heads, but there you go. So, yeah, Iron Brew.
That still got dang John and Johnny and Jack went home.
And Johnny and Jack went home. And that's where I'm going. It's time for all of us to go home. We'll see you next week, folks. Peace. Be excellent to yourself and each other. And stay off the booze. Later, folks. Take care.